and we're talking about the teal core. That's something I want to go with. The teal core, who is going to be vital. Obviously, Macklin Celebrini, who many believe, as we just talked about, could be one of the dynamos of the National Hockey League. What are realistic expectations for Macklin here in year 2, where, we saw last year, Connor Bedard struggled in his sophomore year. It's not unlike really good rookies to take a step back or just not grow as much as everyone else sees. So what are the realistic expectations?
I think for Macklin, I think you just want to see a continual improvement of the winning habits. That's what Ryan Warsofsky says. Celebrini has a lot of winning instincts. He wants to do the right thing, but there are things that last year you could see, things like puck management, especially third periods, that sort of thing that could be better, which is a normal thing for a young player to want to force offense and things like that. But sometimes, though, that winning hockey isn't always forcing offense, right? So little things like that, I think, will be signs of growth, defensive improvements, that sort of thing. With Macklin, he's so good. The points will be on the board. So if he hits point per game, which he really was close to last year already, I think you're happy with that. But a lot of the improvements you want to see, I think, are more subtle.
Yeah, 82 games, 82 points. That would be a great jump. That also means some other people are getting points as well. Macklin is the point of that core. He will be the core. Will Smith looking like will be his winger because, like we talked about, Michael Misa coming into this league and coming to the Sharks has pushed Will Smith to the outside. The other William Eklund, is also entering year 3 fully into the NHL. Two Wills are going to be big here for the San Jose Sharks, but let's start with Will Smith moving out to the wing.
Yeah, with Will, you're looking for an offensive improvement, right? Like, he may never be kind of the two-way guy that you're looking for from Macklin, but you want to see him grow more comfortable at wing, and you want to see him kind of continue what he did in the second half of the season, where he just looked really comfortable out there. He looked like, when he had a puck on his stick, that at times looked like the world was his oyster. So you want to see a little bit more of that this year, and of course the production that follows.
We got bold predictions coming later, and Will Smith is one of my bold predictions. Are you thinking it's a good move for the Sharks to put him out at wing right now, and given, with Michael Misa, but also how comfortable 30 points in his final 34 there on the right wing with Celebrini?
Well, I know that Will thinks it's a good idea because this is his best chance to play with Macklin Celebrini.
Exactly.
He's not taking Macklin's center job.
Yeah, well, if that's what he wants to do, why not do it, right?
Right. And yes, I do think that it is a good move in terms of just Will Smith's future, because even when Will was drafted, even though he played center entirely at BC and in the U.S. program too, there are a lot of questions of just if his body type, if that would be ideal for a center. And so I think it's great that he gets his experience at center at the highest level, and also that he showed that he could do it too. If last season was a struggle and he had struggles playing center and wing, then be very, very concerned, of course, about sort of Will Smith's future. But now, though, he showed that he can play wing in the NHL. He maybe can go back to center in the future, which is what a lot of Sharks have done. Tomas Hertl is one of them, for example. So you want him to have that versatility. So I think this is great. He was comfortable there last year, so why not continue it? And you have a center prospect that we'll get to, in Michael Misa, that you want him to be in a position that he's most comfortable in, which is center.
So there's Will, and then there's William. And William Eklund is the first young Shark to earn himself an extension. I think that's also a big talking point here, is that someone needed to be extended. Someone needed to show that they're going to be here for an extended period. Eklund signs a 3-year, $16.8 million. He told me that he bought a house back home in Sweden. That was his first big purchase with that new money. But William Eklund, he's kind of solidified himself as a top 6 winger in this league. And each year it's been a career year. So that has been good to see from his development standpoint.
Yeah, and so for him, it's just another year of growth, right? And he is also a guy that really hates losing, and he's seen a lot of losing with the Sharks. And so for him, his, I think, individual kind of individual goals are, he has to be better defensively. They've been using him a little bit on the PK. Can he solidify himself as a two-way player? And no, he wants to win really badly. And so I think he's the guy that is starting to see, of course, what he's got to do, what the team's got to do to kind of turn it around. And so, yeah, expecting big things from William this year.
The biggest turning point for this team is in net. Yaroslav Askarov, if he is the player that Mike Grier went out and traded from the Nashville Predators to get, then the Sharks are going to be in a good spot. if he falters and isn't developed where they need him to be at this point, that's going to be the whole season right there with Yaroslav Askarov. I think he is the biggest question mark as we enter the season. And it's a good question mark, but it is the biggest one.
Absolutely. And we know that he has the talent to be that's what everyone says, that he has the talent to be a elite starter in this league. But as we know with goaltending, it's so much what's going on between the ears, a mental thing that we can't answer. Only Yaroslav can answer for us this season. But if he can answer that, and he can answer the bell there, then the Sharks are going to be set in net for a long time. I think a successful season for him is if he can play that 50-plus games, not necessarily have to win the Calder, which he is eligible to do this year, but just have a solid season and just continue to kind of be used to that load and give us a lot more good hockey than bad hockey.
Selfishly, post-game interviews are great. Any interview with Yaroslav Askarov is great, so let's keep that coming. Also, he plays the puck, and it's pretty crazy. I know Dmitry Orlov has already told him, I get paid to play the puck behind the goalie line. You stay out there, my friend. But that'll be interesting to see. Some Russian they could speak. Hopefully that'll help all that communication as well. So let's get to training camp here. Everyone wanted to know as we entered here, what were the new two teenagers this year going to do? Michael Misa, Sam Dickinson, they're both in camp. And by all accounts, they are going to break with the San Jose Sharks, at least for the 9-game trial. What have you seen from the two teenagers this time around?
Yeah, we have to remember with Misa and Dickinson that if they don't stay with the Sharks, they had to go right back to the CHL, where a league that they dominated, OHL league where they dominated last year. And so maybe there's not a lot for them to learn this coming season there. So anyway, what I've seen from camp from both of them, I've seen for Dickinson, a lot of progress from last year. And Ryan Warsofsky has said that he's wanted Sam Dickinson to learn how to defend at a higher level. He didn't have to do that so much with the London Knights last year. And we've seen a lot of progress in that area. And he has all the tool sets to defend. He has the strength of an NHLer. He skates like an NHLer, but he just has to process like an NHLer. And so that's all work in progress. But definitely I've seen a much more mature Sam Dickinson than last year. With Michael Misa, a lot of it is pace. A lot of it, too, is, remember, he's 18, and so he's not the strongest guy. He's not the fastest guy, but it looks like he has enough strength to survive, enough speed to survive. So then he'll just have to learn to make better puck decisions and that sort of thing at the highest level. And so far, we've seen it in scrimmages, in exhibition games from him. But, of course, the big test is coming.
Yeah, Michael Misa, things that stood out to me at the preseason games is he doesn't look overwhelmed. He isn't splashing like maybe Macklin Celebrini did a year ago, but he's also not making critical errors that are hurting his team. Sam Dickinson, man, there's no chance that guy's going back to junior. Not with the San Jose Sharks, the makeup that they're in, not with the way Mike Greer said that watching him play in the OHL playoffs was one of the reasons why they let Vlasic go. Sam Dickinson is going to be in Teal for the entire season. I don't care what anybody says.